You shouldn't judge a book by its cover. But guess what? We know in writing, all books are judged by their cover. It's the book world. This is what happens. So today we are going to discuss all things book cover.
Do not attempt to adjust your dial. I'm transmitting live with the hardcore style.
Since we are all stuck in the house for COVID-19, I have decided to use the same bottle that we used last week. So this week's sponsored wine is going to be Apothic Wine out of Modesto, California. And as you can see, I still have more than half of my bottle. So it's going to do what it do. Is going to serve its purpose today. Apothic White, also the Apothic brand, comes in Apothic Dark and Apothic Red. Apothic Dark is, I believe that's my favorite. It's a really sexy black bottle and the writing is silver. It really jumps out at you on the shelf, in my opinion. But it is also a yummy, yummy vino. And the wine just dances upon your palate as you savor the taste. So yeah, grab your bottle, take a picture, and tell them that Right with Carla sent ya. So now we're going to dive on into this whole book cover thing. People say you can't judge a book by its cover, but we all know that that is absolutely not the case. When you see people in real life, you judge them. You look at their hair, you look at their nails, you look at their shoes. Ladies, don't we look at their shoes? You look at what they're wearing, and then you just create this judgment, if you will, about who they are, what they do, where they come from, what type of person they are, and whether or not you want to get to know them. Why would you think that books are any different? Your book is one of millions of books on Amazon's virtual bookshelf, as well as Barnes & Noble's bookshelves, virtual and physical. So you want your book to stand out. You want people to say, I'm going to buy this book. You gotta give them a reason. The first thing is the cover. So you want to hire a pro designer. Now, before you start saying, no. We'll get to the reasons why you shouldn't do it in just a few minutes. But a pro book designer is slightly different from a graphic artist or a graphic illustrator. So your graphics people are good, and some of them are very creative, but they may or may not be familiar with the nuances of book covers, because you can't just draw a book cover or throw some things together on a PDF and say, here's my book cover. You can't do that. It will get rejected. No printer will print it. It has to be a specific size. It has to have a specific trim. It has to have a specific format. It has to have, well, it may or may not have bleed, but these are the types of things that your book designer is going to be well aware of. These are the things they know to do. So when I have 3 graphic artists who I work with for my clients, with myself and my clients. So when I send them the book cover, they know what I expect for first looks. They know that I'm expecting 3 different drafts. They know that I'm expecting a space on the back for the ISBN and barcode. They know that I'm expecting a spine design. They know approximately how many pages that it is so that they can give me the width that I need of the spine. And for those of you who are like, what's the spine? I don't know what the spine is. This is the spine. So the spine is the part that sticks out from the bookshelf. Your ISBN and barcode here. This is my writer bio here. Front cover, title of the book, name, image, and then you have your color scheme. My graphic artists know what I'm looking for. So before I even send it to my clients, I check the boxes, the mental boxes, to make sure that all 3 of the original drafts have that. And if they don't, I send it back. 2, I will sell my book. No, you won't. You can't just write a book, slap your name on it, and think people are just going to buy it because you wrote it. 9 times out of 10, the most people who buy your book are people who don't even know who you are. I can't tell you how many emails I've gotten and DMs from people who've read all about Sergeant Knight and his quest for love, people who I don't even know. And they have these crazy private catfish profiles on Instagram. I can't tell who they are, what they look like, what they do, or anything that they post. So most of the people who buy your book will be people you don't know, which is why the cover matters. This is why first impressions matter. Don't ever forget it. Yes, if you are a Cardi B or Beyonce or a Reverend T.D. Jakes, these people can sell books just on their name alone. I believe Kim Kardashian sold a picture book, and it was like a New York Times bestseller. Pictures of her that she'd already taken and posted to Instagram, and people paid like something absurd, $40 or $50 for this book. Yes, she can sell her book because she is already a personality. But let's face it, if you're watching this video, 9 times out of 10, you are not a celebrity, you are not a personality, and no, you do not have 100 million followers on Instagram. So you have to do a little bit more work to get people engaged and get them excited about your book. 3, don't do it yourself. I understand that you took graphic design in college, and I also understand that Canva has you feeling like a graphic designer in these streets. But let's be honest, we all have weak points. We all have strong points. 9 times out of 10, graphic design is not going to be your strong point. Just go ahead and send it out. Let somebody else handle it. If you don't have a graphic designer or a book designer who you are comfortable with, just shoot me a DM, inbox, or email me, Carla@writewithcarla.com. I'll be more than happy to help you with your self-publishing process and bring you on so you can work with the great graphic designers in my team. But even if you are good at graphic design, you still may not have all of the nuances that I mentioned earlier to make the book cover process become complete. Trim size, bleed, formatting, all of the things that you need. You may not know those. So save yourself the time, energy, and frustration, and just reach out to someone who actually knows what they're doing and gets paid to do it. 4, find inspiration. So usually when my self-publishing clients come to me, they already have an idea of what they want their book cover to look like. This is great. This makes the process a lot easier. But once they see it on paper or put together, it may or may not be what they've envisioned it in their head to be. It could have all the components and it can look exactly the way that they thought. But at the end of the day, once they see it all put together, they aren't as impressed as they thought they would be. So I go through a 3-step process. Usually, I'm also the editor of the self-publishing process. I do have editors who do work for me, but every book comes across my desk. I look through them all. So my client gives me their idea of what the book cover should look like. I craft an idea of what I think the book cover should look like. And then my graphic artist comes up with his idea of what the book cover should look like based on the synopsis. So when we come back to the client, they have 3 totally, completely different ideas. But if the client doesn't have an idea of what they think their book should look like, I tell them, go find inspiration. If you are writing a book about computer programming for dummies, then go on Amazon, type in computer programming and computer programming books and see what those book covers look like. If you're writing a book about pink ponies with blue polka dots, type in pink ponies for blue polka dots on Amazon, and you will be able to see what covers people are doing. You look at places where people are already selling books, like the book that you want to sell, to see what the main components are in the covers. Maybe all of the covers have a computer on them, or maybe all of the covers have a person on a computer. You look for those type of things to see what your reading audience will expect. You mimic it, don't copy, but you mimic it, and that is what you use for your inspiration. 5, when do you start crafting your cover? Really, you can start it at any point, but I highly recommend, in my professional opinion, that you wait until the story is done. Because especially if you're writing a novel, as the book continues on, you will see that you deviate from your outline, and maybe, just maybe, the main component of your cover is something that gets written out or becomes a really, really small, minuscule part of the overall story instead of the overarching theme that you thought it would be. So wait until your book is finished, at least the first draft, then you can begin working on your cover. 6, how long it should take. So most cover artists are gonna request between 2 and 4 weeks. This is normal. If they request more than 4 weeks, find somebody else. Either they are too busy or they are really like dragging their feet and they don't know what they're doing. This is just a hobby for them, in which case you don't want their work anyway. But you should be able to get first looks between 2 and 4 weeks. At that time, you can narrow down the cover, say, yes, I like the cover on this one, I like the back on this one, I like the font on this one and the color on this one, and then they can put it all together. Yes, I love it, it's perfect, and then you just make minor tweaks here and there, and then you push forward. 7, how much is it gonna cost? This is what the world wants to know. No. So your book cover is gonna cost a few $100s, and that is to be expected. Anywhere between $150 and $500 is a pretty good solid book cover price. If it's less than that, again, this is probably just a hobby or they're just learning, and I don't think you really want them experimenting on your work. If it's more than $500, my first impression is, child, no, you tried it. Like, they're really taking their work seriously. But I have known people to pay upwards of $2,500 for a book cover. The book cover was awesome. I will give them that. But I do think that that is a bit pricey. I mean, for $2,500, you can have the book edited, formatted, printed, ISBN and barcode in your own name, and you can even have 100 copies of the book to sell at your book release party. So I don't think $2,500 is a great investment for a book cover. Just bring it on back in the less than $500 range. So I hope this really helped you know what components go into a book cover and why you should take your book cover so seriously. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, Carla@writewithcarla.com. Happy writing!